Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Normandie series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel. And as you can see, as it's 1099 AD, around the turn of the century, as you look at the state of the world, I mean obviously we're Western Europe with England and Greater Normandy, that's France. Bavaria remains the largest of the German kingdoms, along with Croatia, which technically falls under the the German influence of the whole cultures and all that. And Finland is also a sizable kingdom, at least in the map. Byzantium is in revolt, like, why not? Which I'll have a look at that. Claim liberty. And the Tilinid Empire, the Nile Empire, had expanded into the deserts of Arabia for once. The Karawan Sultanate of Africa, or Ifriqiya, remains the same border-wise. Al-Andalus is still at large. And this Arabian Empire of the Al-Atafid Empire still around. While in the Persian areas, Persianate areas, it's still a mess ever since the Pechenegs that introduced orthodoxy, where you can still see a few independent Orthodox entities here and there. But the most surprising thing of it is Shaivite Hinduism is still alive and kicking, and even expanded. So yes, the Afghan Hindus, the Shaivites, they're still alive. And due to their expansion, they actually have more Shaivite entities, such as Balkh and Shaddam of Merv. So which means if Muslims attack the Hindus, they'll come and stand and fight between them to see how that is. Winning an offensive siege gets Piety and destroys more county development from sacred destruction. I was wondering, it's like, what gives them the strength to keep on going despite everything that they threw at them? I mean, it's not just the Muslims they fight against, but sometimes Orthodox as well. I mean, it's all Afghan, but you only get a few Mervians, Khorasanis, and even Sogdians that are still around in this edge of the known world for this setting of this playthrough. Which again, it's all part of me saying, like, the reason I set this series, set the map like that is because since it's a Western European based series, so I thought I really kind of don't care what goes on that part of the world. So, and in addition to that, it's all because of performance reasons, just out of fear. Ever since the expansion of the map eastwards. And since it's a Eurocentric series, so I thought it makes sense to focus on that only. And especially it's more about Normandy and England, and soon Wales, Ireland, Scotland. We plan on taking it all. But best, it's time for inspection. Want more land. To Edinburgh. Just to try to get some more claims. Oh wait, what am I doing? Oh look, I just noticed that. Battle of Holland, Queen Alice. I did that. Anyways, yeah, we gotta move back to London, and that was supposed to be the first act that I'll do. Just remembered. Alright, let's head back home before doing anything else. This Canterbury. His blessing. Just did not really want to have the time to do this. Ransom the mayor. We'll grant a charter fare a little later. Inspection comes first. Always bring the knights with you. Keep them trained. Every little bit helps. Whatever danger's out there, we'll face it. Let's go. Whilst walking through the streets of St. Albans, Roger suddenly runs off towards a side street. Our entourage is taken by surprise, and we all run after him, only to find him waving a misshaped wooden sword at some old man. This is the best you can do, little prince, he turns to us, teasing an angry Roger. Your remarks are very good. You want to join in as well, Highness? I think you might be a bit older than my usual group. Sure, I'll give it a go. I lose to do it, but it helps hone my skills. Knowing that I'm going to be leading the troops in future. And also helps I can help. You both are children. Hand it over. Just this once. And when I get older, I will name a designated heir. Come on in. Not a strip down and you'll walk in front. Okay. Brave. Let's go and have to catch the thieves on the road. The local captain and a few of his officers greet me down towards enter the military camps of the West Riding. As he wanders off, I quickly dismount and follow through the latest siege equipment. I nod appreciation of organized chaos observer. Now, what would my queen want to do next? He looks at me expectantly. My Russia has improved big time, but I want to make it better. What is that contraption? Marshland. Roger's becoming quick-minded. Remember, Roger's not due to inherit anything. It's a wonder that it's my eldest. Mary is the most intelligent one. And all that. John is quick-minded and he's good at stewardship, but unfortunately, he's fallen into the same thing as I did. So he wouldn't be good at it. Alexander, maybe, despite the fact he's a sinner due to being vengeful, but he's humble and generous. And with him being master of command, he could keep things stable. Even though he's one heck of a fighter. Richard, quick-minded, gluttonous. I'm gonna try to raise him right. Roger, who's not to inherit anything, is more martial-oriented, but quick-minded. Philippa is possessed. Oh dear. And my youngest, Thomas. Hoping we get another intelligent and genius further down the line. Slow-mo! We've seen this event before. Yeah. Since I'm going for the scholar path. Came across a beautiful, gorgeous vista in Selkirk. It's a beautiful view, unlike any other we've seen, and the picturesque expanse of the landscape surely truly shows the glory of our world. Several members of my entourage insist that we stay in this area for a day or two, so we can take time to admire the scenery. Can't tarry for long, even for this. Come on. Expand my borders. As I survey the more obscure regions of the thing, Mary and I find a small area referred to as the Plains of Antiquity. Besides a few goat herders, there does not seem to be anyone living around here. Whenever we pass by them, they look at us suspicious in their eyes. If I want to expand on my domain, I need to make sure I have vassals who can reflect my power to the corners of the realm. Send some people to set up a small outpost in this region. Time to make these lands my lands. Earldom of Lanarkshire. As I travel through the plains of Athen, I reflect on the all too common problem. As soon as we leave the city, we find ourselves stuck in muddy ditches and falling paths that do not go anywhere. These old roads are of barely any use, if any use at all, unless I look to setting aside men to start working on repairs. It will likely start affecting local citizens and foreign traders, if it hasn't already. I'll allocate the necessary funds for this. New roads. The spider bass efforts every time stake a claim at the borderline south end has come up short, if not even embarrassingly so. Some borderline locals have started saying, "As successful as Queen Alice," as an idiom for rejected young women. I'm starting to regret this whole thing. I'll return to put this right at some other point in time. We'll be back. I'll be back for this place one day. Because soon Wales will be the focus as we will return. I know what that is. Quick thinking there, Mary. In the dead of the night, our camp near Escafilm. I step out quietly. What does that sound? That's when I see it. My steward Simon suddenly draws closer to my acquaintance Bahadar, who was sleeping in the open fields of a heavy stone. Simon crushed Bahadar's skull, leaving the grass stained with blood. Simon quickly scans the area, Lord, I've seen everything. Guards! Imprisoned you. How could you? You murdered the best physician we had. I mean, yeah, he screwed up every once in a while, but he was the best we had. God damn you. Ralph taught my son Roger to the market today. Roger was handing out alms to the poor and needy. I learned about charity and the ruler's plight to less fortune. The impeccable child gave something to everyone, Ralph says when the purse ran dry. He insisted that we go get another. Very selfless. Maybe excessively so. Seems that little Roger has a very big heart. You must always consider your choices carefully, constantly. Yeah. Earl Simon of Cambridge, or whoever's liege. It's got the Stourbridge Fair. The town of Cambridge has been granted a right to hold a fair along the Stourbridge Commons, becoming one of the largest fairs in Europe, bringing the area much wealth and prestige, increasing its holding taxes and development growth. One day we'll build the University of Cambridge, if and that's up to Earl Simon, but in actuality I want that land to hold for myself, just to kick this guy out, invest in this university, and among other things. What now? Let's grant Northampton the charter fair. So, Northampton is becoming an increasing and important influential center of trade in England. Local traders and notables have been requesting for the settlement to be granted the privilege to hold a major charter fair. Once Stamford, Boston, Winchester, and Northampton have all been granted charter fairs, a special event will randomly trigger sometime later and upgrade their county modifiers. So, there's that of what it does for the ruler. +1 diplomacy, +2 stewardship, bit of prestige. Does Stamford have a charter fair? It doesn't have. Matter of fact, that holding doesn't exist yet. And what's the other place? Boston. Oh, Winchester. Check Winchester. Winchester does not have a charter fair, and neither does Boston, because Boston doesn't exist yet. Well, some don't even have temple holdings. Well, there's some things to invest in future. Build more holdings for them. That'd be ideal. But for now, we're gonna go. Because we have guilds rather than urbanization. No one in your realm has recently taken a decision to grant the major charter fair. So for historical context, charter fairs are an annual street markets established by a royal charter in England. Many date to the medieval period, though they may have had earlier antecedents. Some charter fairs, particularly in Stamford, Boston, Winchester, and Northampton, were so prominent that they formed a set sequence, with smaller fairs filling in between. While not as large as the Champagne fairs, English charter fairs nonetheless attracted many merchants from all over Europe. We'll see that it is done. The local burghers and lesser nobility of Northampton have been clamoring for the settlement to be granted the right to hold a grand charter fair for some time. I decided to grant them such privilege. From now on, every year around December, the town shall hold one such fair. No ordinary market fair for sure, but one of substantial scale. This should boost the local economy considerably. Once they've all been granted charter fairs, a special event will occur randomly sometime later. Right. But now I'm going to be saving my money on two things. A request for Ireland, and then revoke the title off of that guy, even if he refuses. And then build the University of Cambridge. After Cambridge, it's wartime. And subsequently, build temple and city holdings in other parts of England. stubborn satisfaction of realm laws. I couldn't be more pleased with the laws to safeguard our military's time-honored structure. There is no need for these wild experiments and unproven tactics that some have tried to push. Discipline, order, and hierarchy, that is the backbone of our army. And I'm glad to see that tradition remains unshaken. Without a clear chain of command, we would descend into chaos. I will not allow that under my rule. These laws ensure that our soldiers know their place, that the respect for rank and discipline are paramount. It is on these principles that we have built a powerful army, and I am proud that the realm has resisted the pressure to change. Let these innovators have their ideas. I will stick with what works. This is how we remain strong. That's how we preserve our greatness. Centralized army is essential. We can go further. That's what she wants. Just wait a couple months till we reach 1,000 gold. What's this? Coordination ceremony. Signal. Oh no, that's tournament. The new king of France, who isn't even going to be around for long. I ain't going over there. Yeah. Saint, religious icon that I am. King Pion. The King Pion? Or is that a different one? No, that's a Carling. The one in France is a different house. One of the younger children at court, Edward, taken the wooded sword of a younger boy and thrown into a nearby cave. My son was there and saw it all happen. He ran into the cave and didn't come out for almost half an hour. But when he did, he had to shoot the toy, much to the annoyance of Edward. Very brave, albeit perhaps somewhat foolish. You're one for intrigue. Honestly, you should be stubborn as me. The House of Islam is under a grave threat from the onslaught of infidels. It's very hard. His response to magnificent Caliph Toromana declared an era of renewed jihad is upon the world. The core regions of Dar al-Islam must be retaken at all costs. All righteous Muslim faithful should prepare to join the ranks of the Mujahideen for the upcoming struggles. This could be the beginning of unprecedented Muslim aggression. Saint George protect us. Keep going. Here we are. Petition to the papacy. Request claim in Ireland. If the Holy See sanctions the campaign against the barbarous tribes of Ireland, all of the British Isles could become ours to rule. So House de Normandy gains a lot of bit here. Then the Papal Bull gives House de Normandy cast valor for all counties in Ireland. Your desire to extend the sacred domain of the universal church to the barbarous tribes of Ireland is a pious and righteous cause. As such, the Holy Roman Church commands that you will take possession of this island and there execute God's will. If you were to pass on by some misfortune before the end of this holy campaign, we extend this sacred mandate to your rightful successors. May House de Normandie carry this holy endeavor in perpetuity until the divine will has been realized. Ireland lays united under English rule. Prepare our fleet. Well, not now, because money to spend and all that. As I'm out for a stroll around the market, a merchant calls me over. This year's something that will pique my interest. The scent of drying herbs and foreign textures overwhelms my senses as I approach the stall. She's rifling through the collection of dusty tomes and other treasures. After some digging, the merchant produces an old book and insists I need it for what is to come. Ah, fine, I'll buy it. Prayers for the Catholic. It's an imposing book of prayers to the Catholic faithful. Plain illustrated, the cover is what is a painted display, a repeating image of mythological beasts. Putting away my newly acquired prayers to the Catholic, a slip of parchment falls out. Upon it are instructions for the practice called Vinland, where one might divine their fortune from the passage in a book. All you need to do is open his text to a random spot and read the first fateful face of my eyes fall upon. The temptation's overwhelming. I follow the instructions to the letter and select the passage at random from the text before me. Shivering anticipation. Open my eyes and read. Fear is the mind killer. A coward dies 1,000 tiny deaths, yet a valiant man dies but once. What am I to make of this? Fascinating. This requires further research. 99% chance to discover the true meaning of this passage. Again, focus reading. I finally cracked the mysterious passage from Prayers of the Catholic. I feel much wiser for it. Thanks to that merchant, the threads of fate suddenly appear more clearly to me. Fear may be the mind killer, but I faced my fear. Yes, that's how I became from Craven the Brave. Without fear, I die but once. Now you can use a buy claim interaction, which is, as a reminder, an interaction that allows the character to buy unpressed claims in exchange for fighting. A vassal may not claim to buy any liege's title, and a liege may not buy a claim on any vassal's title. That's why you gotta fabricate. A king or emperor may not buy claims on kingdom titles, and emperors may not buy claims on other empires. No one may buy a claim on their head of faith. And now I'm about to become a scholar. They nicknamed me a scholar, so now I am a scholar. And now I get to wear the same headdress just like Stephanie did long ago. Lordy +3, initial hostile scheme, success chance, personal scheme, success chance, development growth up, development decline down, county fertility growth 15. I would likely want to be an administrator as well. And then switch over to, well, maybe switch over to Marshall now. I mean, next year, just July of next year. And try to get the Overseer. Overseer and Administrator. So you could say, yes, she is a cruel tyrant. That's pretty much akin to, modern day dictators, but she is an effective administrator and scholar. Especially for times like these. Now... Oh, excuse me. Give me Cambridge. Hand over Cambridge. Cannot revoke titles in their personal domain. Okay, then that's a couple steps process. But that would be tyranny if you just revoked the title. Like so. And after all, what's stopping you? You are a dictator, in a way. In fact, do any of you still call me tyrant? Yeah. They do. We'll get you later. "8 years' time. Today in the council there was a major quarrel when Lord Darcy challenged my views and placed my authority online. As my Archbishop proceeded to demolish my argument in front of everyone, I coldly thought I should address this. Among councillors, the mood was neutral. I'll use my highlighting. Conjure an original argument and deal with the issue. Success. By the blood, those accursed children, my son Richard and his compatriot Philippa, were caught red-handed having snug an army. Don't they know that weapons are dangerous? One of the servants caught them on the act. Philippa was crying and bleeding on the floor, while Richard simply played up on the stone mace. Apparently Richard did not want to stop having fun because Philippa messed up. Won't be coming of that boy. You should admit it your own doing, you brat. Dang nabbit. It's people like you that embarrass me. Damn it! Wake up! Richard, rest in peace, little Richard. Died from his wounds ever since that incident. Wake up, man. I know you're saving your money for investments. It's not till July of next year. Of course it's my goddamn cousin. Well, we get to do all these again. Later this August. Then we could consecrate him in a holy well, if need be. You know, it's keen to sponsor expeditions for once. Envoys, merchants, adventurers, experts, pilgrims, or knights. It's keen to sponsor pilgrims. Please report the assembled expeditions are prepared for departure, exude confidence in the success that lies ahead. Individuals hired for this undertaking are a skilled and diverse group. Every year will pay a fraction of your income. The larger amount, the greater chance of success. See to it. I did that for the learning. Stalling for time. Oh, it's about time. Hey, you don't have a physician, dummy. That's why your son died. He didn't have a physician to treat his wounds. David. You the man. Archbishop often quotes passages from the scriptures about the holy virtues to prove. I pay attention by quoting a passage from Ireland, preferably one which complements his personality. I'll memorize and recite a section on. What are you into? Ha! Then it won't work with the chastity. I'll say moderation. He's flattered. You've got your war chest. Go on in, Pilgrim. Okay, it's time. So let's actually go to strategy focus for the next 5 years, but this is not for all of these. I mean, I'd never, taught myself to be a great commander, nor wish to be gallant, but be an overseer. So that's what I plan on being, overseer, and then after that, being an administrator. It also increases my advantage a bit when leading armies. If you wanted to do that, you should have gone for gallant, but you get the idea. Prepared conscription. Army gold maintenance reduced. And friendly territory levy enforcement rate increased to 100%. And now, Greenland. Send an expedition to the west. Let's see, it's gonna... let's try Vinland again. There's no opportunities to improve its results in orcs, but see if we can try to increase the viability, because it decreased the last time we went there. I don't wish to send any of my knights over, but... Look, Gilda tells me. Can I send you... Yes, you can. She is a veteran explorer, so it's time for her to explore again. But you cannot pick it up because he's the most well-rounded out of all, especially in stewardship. Like in case if you meet any natives, this gives you a good chance to try to trade with those people, instead of fighting against them like that one time and try to steal their stuff. Unless it may come to that, I'm sure. And meanwhile, support Greenland. Construct church. Increase bonus of sending close family Courtiers to settle. Once built, let's try to attempt to send someone over. The shoulder court Philippa has been taken a rolling a hoop from a younger girl and thrown in nearby cave. My son was there, so I'll have it. Rogers threw in a fit of rage and beat Philippa bloodily. Why is everybody ganging up on the daughter? This didn't help the young girl, who started crying even more. It seems there's a terrible trouble with controlling his anger. You should have gone there yourself, without fear. Probably you'll make a good commander or fighter someday. Disfigured Pictishman. Aid arrived. Okay, who wants to go to Greenland? Any takers? You there. How'd you like to go? Because you seem ambitious. Attempt. She agrees. They increased by 17! Hell yeah. Where are we again? I just want to see the meters. Yeah, it's gone way up. Halfway towards 1,000. And I believe, based on recollection that one time, as we're well on our way to integration. For regional integration, I believe you got to have 850 for networks and resilience. And you gotta have at least two of the following must be true. Ireland, the Isles, Ulster. That's the reason why I said we got to expand to Ireland and other places. Middlesex and York is whatever. And every county in your York duchy or capital, but that's at least one reason to true. And control more than 50% of Nordic Seas region. You only control 4%. Every county in a digital duchy of the capital, meaning, in that case of mine, it's like, yes, it's very high. We're on our way to 70, but the rest of this, Essex, you've got to get it up there. What the hell? What are you screwing up for? Made it the poorest part of England. Pirkoi, what is the matter with you? And I understand that you spread rabbinism there, but we may have to correct that one day unless we have to expand. Because regional integration is the good ending here. That's good to know. So honestly, we're only going to Vinland for once, alright? Just explore there a bit, and then come back. Alright, off you pop. Good luck, Mary. There's a station there, but this is where, like Lewis in Sussex, this is where our longbow archers are going to be stationed at. Gotta have militia camps. And then later on when we're soon to get windmills. And after windmills, gotta go for advanced bow making. Yeah, blacksmiths. Wallen Sands of Westfalen. What twisted mockery of our faith is this? I'm gonna watch this for the best. My goodness. Big time on the networks. I accidentally bit my cheek while eating. It hurt quite a bit. I yelped of pain, which caused me to a bit of an embarrassment. Ouch. I hate that when that happens in real life. Meanwhile, a messenger bird brings me a message from Mary with an update about our expedition to Vinland. While sailing the coastline of an unknown area, Mary landed at a beach. Not only did encounter a woman huddled over a campfire, she did not look English and wore strange clothes. Despite the language barrier, Mary managed to get an idea of what happened to this one, named Pelunik. She was from the tribe of the Beltuk people, but was separated from her group for some reason and is now all alone. Perhaps she was ostracized as the last survivor attacked, or the last survivor attacked by enemies, or was she suffered some other calamity. I wonder, how did Mary react to this? Well, this is Pelunik Legak. Craven, honest, trusting. Through many of the Anish big nations are diverse, they do share some spiritual practice beliefs. Religious society called the Meduin, for example, is largely universal, and among most of these peoples are an important religious institution. Obviously, they're pagans of a North American variety. And her culture, they are the Algonquin heritage. People of the red Aka. The color red may be important to many societies around the world, but in this culture, it has a preeminent position. Red ochre is used liberally to paint everything, from houses and weapons to people. It's used as insect repellent in religious rituals and as a signifier that one belongs to the tribe. And those ostracized are denied the right to wear this red paint. And they're migratory. People of this culture are accustomed to packing up their things and leaving at a moment's notice. So she's not having a good time as this Pelunik. Even though she's an executioner because she's a fornicator. Which I'll have her married soon. Once she returns. Let me think. I'll say, I know she would have kindly given Pelunik some supplies, although she's callous, but you get the idea. So, 23% chance that Pelunik does not accept her generosity, 6% chance that Pelunik's not alone and not in a good way, 30% chance to accept Mary's generosity and provide some supplies and arms in return, 23% chance that Pelunik turns out nice, is not alone, but in a good way, 30% chance decides to join on the expedition. Well, it's quite the gamble, so let's do it. I continued reading the message. Pelunik was understandably cautious at first, but eventually she accepted the supplies that Mary offered her, whether out of desperation or because she was convinced of Mary's good intentions, or both. Furthermore, as Pelenic started to feel more comfortable around Mary and her crew, she seemed to indicate with gestures and unintelligible words that she wanted to join them. Does she have nowhere to go and felt that she had little choice? Or was she curious and wanted to travel? Or a combination of both? Mary concludes this message by saying she is not sure that if I would approve, but she decided to let Pelenic tag along, or perhaps we'll meet other Beltuk like Pelenic in the future. Pelenic will be walking in my court. Oh my goodness. She just joined the court. I mean, skill-wise, she isn't good, but hey, first of her kind to come here in this part of the world. And the Beltuk are in the early medieval era, technology-wise. Good outcome. Come on in, join the army. And I got additional things. Reactivate those, reactivate those acolytes. A claim in Oxfordshire. At first I thought a simple footman who overstepping in the training field. Although John, that's Jonathan, seemed no threat at first, it quickly became clear that he would be unable to stop his wild and vicious strikes from hurting me. Disarming him suddenly became a matter of life and death. I tried not to show my relief, but when his sword finally hit the ground, I could use more people like you. We got windmills. Meanwhile, Messenger Bird brings me a message from Mary with an update about our expedition to Vinland. Mary says that the expedition's going well, and nothing significant has happened, in a good way. She and the rest of her crew are currently resting in a rather peaceful location and making note of various kinds of wildlife and plants that grow there. It is their hope that this information might be of use to us, or at least to other explorers in the future. They're certainly doing good work. This is definitely going to be a success. Okay, it stopped spreading, so it's only in northern Germany that's the issue. No, not hobbies. Advanced bow making is what we want next. So we can have shooting ranges, which will increase the stationment and armed siege progress, and much more siege weapon effectiveness. So in a few years' time, this area here, where the... Well, come here. While this is being built, do we not have a royal architect to get it built fast? Come on. What's stopping you? Get off. Get it done fast. We'll move the longbowmen over here. My marshal reports my troops lacking lack of training with the current commanders in this realm. This will cause significant degradation of performance on the battlefield if commanded by a present cadre of generals, myself included. If I so choose, I can address the situation by staging complex and expensive maneuvers of everyone involved. Pay for the maneuvers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, we can upgrade further, but give it a moment. Could have blacksmiths. Further damage from men-at-arms. So that means... Come here. You're going to be stationed in London, and our longbowmen will be stationed in Luz. And improvements will be made in the future as time goes on. And I believe Oxford is fully English now. We got so many buildings to invest heavily. But we're going further with this. Again, we have this. Rangian veterans. So they're going to be more deadlier than ever as our heavy infantry. Stationed in Bruges. I would like to introduce the cavalry. I mean, we already have our heavy infantry with these guys. They're still potent. These are spearmen. We already have a lot more longbowmen than it needs to be. It's the same for that, but again, would like to introduce cavalry at some point. Because we can afford it and maintain them. These in particular. They will be devastating. Tell you what, Dover, this is going to be where the stables is built. That's going to be for the cavalry. And then build a blacksmith there to make the cavalry more deader. See, we're specializing. Archers, heavy infantry, cavalry, siege weapons. Keep working. As a matter of fact, since it says it's 4 months, you can stop at that. Five months. We did want to spread the development further of the areas that's our domain. It's about to reach 60 here. I'm going to need you proposals to fix things. Let's roll armor every time I see this option. Maintenance free, cannot replenish, non-inheritable. Composed by mid-tier men-at-arms and levies. Immediately assembled at the county capital. After all, you do plan on going to war. Messenger Bird brings a message from Mary with an update about our expedition to Vinland. In the message, Mary says they arrived at a small village and encountered a group of strange people led by a certain Orshanu. The two sides tried to communicate at first, but violence broke out. Perhaps due to a misunderstanding, resulting in few deaths on both sides. The strangers retreated for now, but Mary fears they might return. Some of Mary's crew argued they needed to retreat as well, but others wanted revenge, or even tried to steal them or kidnap some of these foreigners. Wonder what Mary did. This is from the Innu people. Another one of the heritage. Natives of Labrador and Quebec. Speak the Cree language. Not a migratory people. Fortunately, that man does not understand diplomacy that much. But I'll say, she tried to use diplomacy to make peace with the strangers. 4% chance she fails to make peace, and attacks the expedition. 4% chance fails to make peace, but does not attack. 91% chance that Mary manages to make peace with them. Read on. I continued reading the message. Some of Mary's crew were skeptical about whether these foreigners would even want to talk after violence broke out. But Mary assured the crew that these people were clearly humans, and humans could be reasoned with. It turns out that she was correct. Mary somehow managed to approach Shanu's group and convince the foreigners that she meant no harm, and that this was all a terrible misunderstanding. Mary and Shanu apologized to each other and allowed their respective subordinates to bury their dead. Afterwards, while things were still a little tense, as a sign of goodwill, both sides agreed to do a bit of trading by exchanging various trinkets. In the end, Mary says she feels like she and Shanu came to respect one another. He seems like a good, fair man. Perfect. 3 good outcomes. We're gonna get a lot of benefits. And welcome. I know the trial's been harsh on you, but we have a physician that'll treat you right. Now the Beothuk people, those are the people that are native to Newfoundland, Vinland. Now that you think of it. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with you here, but I could give you something. You know, we consider your faith zero, but they consider us hostile, as this is due to them being polytheists. They do bury their dead, just like ours. Esotericism and all that. What language do you speak, by the way? Beothuk language. Can I learn your language? Because that would be interesting. What if I make you one of my ladies in waiting? Average. Yeah, why not? Because she's honest. That's what makes her good. Yeah. Hello, Nick. Need a lady in waiting, and I'll be learning your language because I'm a scholar. I want to learn more about your kind and all that. What is the Keeper of Swans for? Diplomacy per level of fame. Ah, that's what you should need. John, keep the swans. That helps me out big time. Please, zealots. Get one. Again, you can afford all the court positions. Go. Please, the zealots. This is all aptitude. It's too late to consider any hunting, as I've rarely done any hunting these days. Broommaster. But if we ever want to hold a feast, well, they're a lot cheaper now. Share with the court. Give me an experimental brew. Haha. Yeah, that's right. I trust the Muslim in my life. Or golden. Exiled Zagis. Religious persecution is rife in the Sheikhdom of Tobruk, British nobility is forcibly converting Antiquity. Now there's 90,000 exiles that wish to enter my realm. Their leader, Menad, seeks on. We're searching for a better and safer life, Queen. Please let us send over around. I'm gonna see it. Where the hell's that at? Oh, up north. Why on earth would I want to convert that faith? You start a crusade here. But at least they're pluralists. Mercia, Dunbar, Durham, North Riding, West Riding. Usable test. Development up. Yeah, you're more than welcome here. Oh, Mystic. Come on in. Again, this does not affect me. It only affects those areas up there. And if you got issues up there, well, tell it to the judge. Okay? So it's the northern thing, and that's where we send these Muslims over here. And it kind of befits the characters becoming a bit more open-minded, as she does have the open-minded perk. She has a Jewish vassal, for goodness sakes. Alright, it's built here. This one's cheaper. We're gonna make these longbowmen deadlier than ever. And as well as preparing for the cavalry to come. Later, been pondering the education of my son Roger. Is warfare really the appropriate direction? Since being trained in stewardship myself, I found that particular knowledge served me well. It's really shameful. Nah, his varying skill set's only beneficial for him. It's just I need to decide the designated area for later. Massive success. Okay, the viability did increase for 19. And we gained the Courtier. And as well as knowledge of flora in the Americas. This character recently sponsored the expedition into the Western Seas. The expedition studied some of the plants, both ordinary and fantastical, and has relayed the information they gathered to this character. Intrigue +1 and learning +1. Great renown for us. Gained 25 experience in Envoy. Explorer. Truly wonderful result. Well done, Mary. And after all, that's my plan. It's to make all the men-at-arms regiments to be much more deadlier than it needs to be. It also increases their toughness that we have here. Be effing ready. To Bruges. One day we will have these things that'll make us get to have watermills. Makes buildings cheaper. More cheaper. Okay, build one here in London. My precious Beltox notes are scattered all over my study, and the ink-soaked raven still flatters its eggs all over. How did you even get here? Who covered it in ink? A letter for you, my queen. I turned around and snatched the message out of my sword. It's a real shame what happened to your notes, but to look on the bright side, your writing was already similar to crow's feet. Regards, Mary. Mary, don't be a fool. I'll say, haha, I always keep backup notes. We become rivals, but I believe it'll be a short-lived rivalry. It's a bit of a misunderstanding between us. She pulled a prank on us. It took a drop on the networks, but resilience is still going up. No longer my antiquarian. Raja, you want to be content or trusting? I think trusting might be the way for you, while lowering your intrigue. Terminated sponsorship agreement. I didn't notice that we actually got a results there. As in, okay, this expedition was a success. I didn't even pay attention to that. Plumerays and Dover and Liz. Again, these particular guys, they're stationed. Training commanders, station holding. Keep it up. Keep it going. We're going to increase their toughness as well. They're both similar cost. Get it up. We plan on introducing the heavy cavalry soon. Though I'll surely see many battlefields before I meet my maker, my library holds tales of war from 100 lifetimes. I recently acquired a tome on the Great Siege of Constantinople. Which one? As well as a time-worn scroll written in some ancient language. Who knows what forgotten secrets it holds? I'll attempt to translate the old scroll. 100%. Even with the help of the Dusty Glossary, the scroll's reluctant to share its secrets, but I press on. As the night progresses, the most incredible story unfolds before me. By blocking the narrow coastal pass at Thermopylae, the massively outnumbered Greek troops held off the Persian army for 7 days. During the last day, when King Leonidas was outflanked, he dismissed the bulk of his army and guarded their retreat in a glorious last stand. The heroism of his troops is a testament for the power of the patriotic army defending its native lands. Study the battle. Because, you know, I'm going to be leading soon. You want to take up all the knowledge you can get. Grand wedding. Propose a trade. Oh, no, do not trade with Wales, because we'll get a truce with them. There's a town not far from here that has a lovely large garden which I'd like to visit on occasion to enjoy the scenery. Today, while there, I see a woman talking to herself. Curious, I approach her. She introduces herself, her gaze oddly drifts off to nowhere in particular. She says, "What are all those strange creatures in the garden? Where are all the white birds?" I have no idea what she's rambling about. Suddenly, another woman hurries over and bows deeply. "Apologies, my lady." She says, "This is my friend. I look after her. She's been a little strange over the years. Touched by God, they say. They say she hears voices. All the people who lived and died here for thousands of years. Maybe they left ghosts behind. Of course, please, by all means, do what you need to do. Stone barracks constructed. I'm drawn to a nearby church by the faint claps of worshippers. They beseech God for good fortune. It's when sometimes I had an opportunity for prayer and reflection. What should I focus on in the years to come? Prosperity for our family is of the utmost importance. Eek. Here's another one for our Rajian veterans. No fancy dreams this time, because I'm about to invest in cavalry. Keep it up. Last one for our longbowmen. And then soon we'll be upgrading these to make them even more deadlier and tougher than it already needs to be. Lately, I've had a mild but persistent toothache. I approached my physician David about this matter. He suggested I take several remedies. It's up to me to decide which I'm in the mood for at the moment. Knowing her, since she's brave, she'll cauterize the tube of a red-hot needle. For historical context, cauterization... Oh wait, there's a historical context for all things. Okay, let me read them all, since we got time. For historical context, for each of these things to do with toothaches, bloodletting in the area around the toothache was a common treatment for toothaches, though care had to be taken not to cause infection. Recipes using candle wax mix of other substances were prescribed in some historical sites for toothaches. Daily rinses with mouthwashes made from several herbs. Different herbs were used in different cultures to treat toothaches, including henbane, myrrh, and rose oil. Cauterization tube to alleviate toothaches would typically require the insertion of a red-hot needle to the pulp of the tube in order to kill the nerve. My goodness, she would do that. No, she does not have the constant toothaches. Recently, donkeys bred in Surrey have gained a reputation for being reliable and capable beasts of burden, even when compared to the other donkeys from elsewhere. Thanks to long-term efforts by the commoners there, some people may look down on donkeys for being less elegant and less majestic than the horse, but only a fool would deny their usefulness. At any rate, thanks to this reputation, merchants are even exporting a decent number of these donkeys to faraway lands. Let's hope these donkeys serve us well. It'll be around for the next 16 years. For another context, though often stereotyped as stubborn and stupid, donkeys, a domesticated form of the African wild ass, Equus africanus, are in fact highly intelligent animals that's been used across the world as pack animals for thousands of years. Even in the medieval period, they were recognized for their importance in agriculture, transportation, and commerce. Let me purchase some. Donkeys are often underappreciated part of our community. Part of my realm is known for having very reliable and capable donkeys. Some could be useful, as they may have a variety of applications for my soldiers or servants at home. Hee-haw, hee-haw. Up my marshal. They'll help us a lot. I arrive at the town of Surrey to rendezvous with a local notable who is known for possessing a large herd of donkeys, said to be some of the finest in the area. We spent some time negotiating how many donkeys I will buy and how much money need to pay. In the end, I agreed to buy a large herd of donkeys for the next 10 years. Heck yeah. And while we're still stalling for time, let me go to the secluded forest of Devon. While we of course train knights along the way. As we continue to invest in the military. Gonna be intrigued. Undershot water wheels, constructed right here in London. Buildings will be made a little cheaper, so we'll keep upgrading that with time. I mean, look at our income. And I'm gonna use up that income for invest in buildings. And then once you're done investing in the buildings, then we introduce the more men-at-arms. Our journey brings us to Hampshire, where the rhythmic hammering of blacksmiths forms the heartbeat of local commerce. Smoke bellows from chimneys of smiths, bathed in sweat and soot, shaped the raw into the remarkable. One of the blacksmiths wipes his brown brackets with closer. Welcome, Your Highness, because we're master Anglo-Saxon smiths, the best there is. Please do peruse our wares. You new antiquarian. Albert? Can you give me a weapon? You got me the Normandie spear. Okay. Break that down. Give me 40 gold back. Wasted. Sorry about that, but it builds character. We've seen this event before. I'll take the lion's share of the wealth here because we are investing in the military buildings to strengthen our existing men-at-arms that are stationed there. Because that's how I want to prepare for the war against Wales and Ireland. Because our army is bigger than ever and stronger than ever now, especially that. Deadlier and stronger. Hay barracks built in Dover. Courier stations, which by the way from level 4 will have superior mounts travel option, which gives you even faster travel speed if you have someplace to go. Watch posts. So there you go. Now our longbowmen here. Let's stay standing loose. Well then, let's upgrade it even more. He became Anglo-Welsh, this Pirkoi is no longer Ashkenazi. Though he's feeling poor right now. Has he no children of his own? Mobile camps. Finished. Now I have Varangian veterans, which we're still keeping. Well, now they're going to be made more deadlier than before. Hey, I just remembered something. Thomas. Oh, Thomas, I may have neglected you. I'll raise you. Guess you didn't pick up any of the intelligent traits. So it is my eldest who's the smartest one of all. Mary. but I could designate you as heir, but those sons of mine won't like that idea. And I just learned your language. No views of dishonest mockery. Well, I'm sorry. Tell me my future. Shovel supplies around. Courier station's finished. Boom race. The heavy cavalry that's to come will be made much more deadlier than that. Same for the longbowmen. So yeah, that's what this episode has just become mainly about. Is to how to make your men-at-arms regiments more deadlier than it already needs to be. Good Dr. David. My modest physician, David, is a true healer, always ready for some suitable remedy or poultice at the first murmurings of the Courtiers' mildest minded. His talents seem almost wasted, stretched as he is treating the demanding denizens of the entire English court. Tend to Shlomo for now. Don't worry, I will invest in your book to come, Rashi. It's just military's the priority right now. Just one more time. I became aware today that Duke Elderwolf, my chancellor, is planning to host a meeting with my foreign neighbors to discuss matters of political and diplomatic interest. He's already probed everyone into attending, and I'm left with the option of funding the meeting, or facing the loss of prestige if I balk at this possibility. I'm a bit aggrieved regarding my chancellor's behavior. I need to make a decision now. Look, even if I lose legitimacy, I know ways to get them. Do not fund the meeting. I'm disinterested. Sometime, when sleep eludes me, I find solace in reading passages from the Bible, selected by chance or God's grace. Tonight, the Holy Spirit guides my finger towards the very end, to the book of Revelation. When 1,000 years are completed, Satan will be released from his prison, and will come out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners thereof, Gog and Magog, to gather them together for the war, and a number of them is like the sand of the seashore. The rise of the beast and of the false prophet, the final judgment, with the wicked cast into fire, the righteous raptured to heaven. Weighty matters for my restless soul, and the illustrations of horned monsters disquiet me further. When the 1,000 years completed, is the time drawing near? My insomnia has worsened. For the warning. No longer my witness. Oh boy, a rival. Mary, how could you? If I die because of you, Like, what if? Because look, out of all the people, you have the best skills out of all. Like, if you want to be queen, why didn't you say so? I'll make you designated heir now. This is just me being cowardly. Which means John will have Greater Normandie. He'll have the country of Piety. Roger. I'll say, okay, it's just my way of saying, it's like, okay, fine, you win. If you manage to kill me, you'll be known as a murderer. Or you could get killed. My bodyguard. I must fight for my life. Remember, if I die, well then, Alice had one hell of a run. Then Mary would be a known murderer, and although she'll be honest about it, and she won't feel any shame for doing this. I must fight for my life. I'm alive, and so is my bodyguard. Calm yourself. Dear goodness. Draw played, bellows finished. Okay. We don't have any for now. But we're almost done here. With the upgraded of the military buildings to our standards. Blacksmith districts constructed in Chutse. It is done. Thomas, you've picked up generous. You should be fickle. A crusade against Germany. Well, those heretics out there, they are in need for humbling. Boers will be ready for a fight. I'll be there. Just say when. No beneficiaries, though. Wait, what? Not against the heretics, but these guys must have got it through inheritance. Hell, Andalus has been gaining momentum lately. Comes from a long line of them, which started with Bernat, who became Zayedi. Has he spread the faith inside there? No, he has not introduced it, but this made the Pope feel like that's too close for Italia. Call for the Crusade. It's finished. And we're still upgrading this. God's won the Holy War. Now you've been reduced to a rump state. I think you should redirect the war. The cost of piety. Like, what about these blasted Orthodox heretics? I mean, Look at it. Why don't you take advantage of the situation? How about Serbia? Redirect that. Because, look, as far as connections are concerned, if we can take Serbia, then we'll cut Byzantium into two. And that'll make Pannonia, the Pannonian provinces of Byzantium, split away from the rest of it. Because one day, as I've stated, those Orthodox heretics must pay. It's the iconoclasts who are the real Christians out there. And they've been persecuted to no end. They're the ones with ecumenism here. So yeah. Look, that thing in Germany, that's a non-issue. That is a non-issue. It's Serbia that should be taken. Yeah. So we'll take on those Orthodox bastards. Yeah, fighting up in the mountains, the hills of Serbia. Although I would have no beneficiary, but it'll be a long way. And do not think we have the time to, introduce a new heavy cavalry, because it'll be starting in a year's time. We do have a large army, and you would want to be over there as quickly as possible. But we'll make another investment here, and then we'll get on going. Come on. Give me some more money. Plague is spreading in the lower quarters of town. When a strong wind blows, I can detect a faintly sickly odor drifting along the smoke fires that burn day and night to dispose the dead. Worryingly, Catherine is taken ill and is shut in her home right here in the Citadel. Pray this remains a small outbreak. It's not related to this. This is in the court, not out there. But what I'm curious is, how long will it take to... No. I want you to do it in Middlesex. Move rally point to Middlesex. Oh yeah. How long will it take to raise town? 2 months. Right. 2 months. Because I want to get to Serbia by make our way to Dukla, modern day Montenegro, Sinagora. Like, how long will it take to get from here to Dukla? After those 2 months, it's a long way, so you might as well get started. And get away from that damn disease there. What is that? Oh yeah, that's consumption. That's been there for a while. And will remain so. So that's an obstacle that you would want to get through. Fast. See too if you could get us there faster. Pair armies. You need a master of raids for the income during war. With Crusade that's to come. So I fully invested in the military for all its upgrades and such, so now they're deadlier than ever. But I remain overseer. Blacksmith's districts finished. Okay, let's see how they look now. 82, 26. And meanwhile, for Varangian veterans, 92, 71, 10. Oh, Roger. You see, this is why I decided that Mary will be the heir. Oh, and you should get married too. Matrilineally, preferably. No, not him. Not a lowborn. That'd be problematic. Perhaps one day have smart, pretty children? Go ahead. We're on our way to Dukla now. That'll be our first place to head. We still make some gold, so we can afford an army. My enterprising marshal shared me the idea he came up with regarding the improvement of my less performant knights in the retinues. In his suggestion, Earl Edward of Eastriding told me to provide intensive theoretical knowledge to the knights of their retinues over a period of 1 month, hoping to improve their prowess. Of course, given the nature of the subject at hand, the learning skill of each knight will be tested to see how effective the training has become. Now face decision to green light the trainings will cost a significant amount of resources. Don't support the idea. You may never know if pirates are going to attack and take away all my money and such. Plus, we're about to pay for transport. And if we do win a crusade and I get a large amount of money, we're spending it on cavalry. And then when it's fully reinforced, in the next episode we will definitely go to war for Wales and Ireland. Between cook fires and a temporary cattle pen, a scruffy old man stands on an upturned barrel, preaching about the imminent end of times. Prepare yourselves, he warns. Repent. How can you ignore the signs that the day of judgment is near? Ah, but the wicked are blind. At this point, the cook empties a large bucket of dirty water at the man's feet, nearly knocking the preacher off his makeshift pulpit. Wandering priests routinely accompany his armies, taking a confession before battle, and granting it to the grievously wounded after. This one is uncharacteristically vocal, although widely ignored. Still, I pause and wonder if there may be a sliver of truth to his words. Roger Beckett, a monk. Since she's calm, she would ignore his ramblings. Yes, please. It is done. Roger's come of age. You're an exalted commander. Wish we would have you in our ranks. But we've already left. Say, Roger, since you're not due to inherit anything, how would you like to be the future ruler in a part of Serbia? Sound good? But hey, we're trained for this. Serbia's full of hills and mountains. Particularly Dukla has mountains, and Raška Duchy area is hilly. So we're trained for that kind of terrain. We specialize in that. Learned that during my travels across the Alps, and met a stranger in the Alps. Be aware, we're passing through disease territory. If I get caught, or any of you guys get caught, then we are screwed. Or done screwed myself. My uncle died. Oh dear, we're deep in debt. Your Holiness, I need financial assistance to keep us going. Thank you. I won't ask for it again, I promise. Come on, get us out of this diseased territory. This is the fastest way to get there. It's about to begin soon. Inherited the Duchy of Cornwall. Give it to a loyal Cornish. That's my uncle. Yeah. Sardinia's sickly too. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The time has come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile infidels of Serbia, led by Byzantium. Inflamed by the righteous fury and unyielding resolve, the great army Crusaders assembled by Pope Leo sets forth to deliver divine justice upon the wicked and earn their place in heaven. We gotta get those orthodoxy bastards. Again, we have no quarrel with the Greeks and Serbs that live there. We just simply want to replace them with more amenable people to rule, and to break the empire in half. We're just there to show them who's boss. How many defenders do they have? A lot. But I believe our skill and courage will defeat any shortcomings that we'll deal with. And mind you, they're also in the midst of a civil war, so they'll be more content to fighting with each other rather than us. So we'll definitely set up shop in Dukla, Sinagora. Oh yeah, they'll do. Man, half of Dukla is already under control of Croatia. Dukla's got, oh my goodness, 4 castles to bring down. Fortunately, these are all very weak ones, so they'll all fall quickly. But we're establishing a foothold here. I'm not a veteran Crusader, but I will be. We're here. If we were dealing with supply issues, we got to split the army into 2. For more than a couple of years now, a band of brigands, self-entitled and evil swords, has been terrorizing parts of the Earldom while robbing peasants and assaulting traders. They also give a significant amount of coin to settlements in the county, helping people to cope with the hard times. In a nice move on the part of my militia and my spies, these bandits have finally caught a trap brilliantly devised, and they've been captured. There are a lot of radical measures being demanded. Hanging, departing the thieves, council also split on the matter. What seems amiss is a balanced view of the situation. Employ them as enforcers. Right. We get skipped down. Given that we're running short of time, I'm not going to read the whole text, as my voice is a little tired, so we gotta get going. So that's step one. Army stand poised to take part of the Crusade of Serbia. St. George winning, sunrise victorious. The blood-eating infidels painting the soil red. May St. George lead us to victory. So we're taking Danj. Dian. Philippa comes of age. You are a bad girl. Got it. Moraka. We'll go for Podrinja next. That area is part of Serbia. This area is not well developed. I can only hope that one day, these prisoners that we've been taken, that we'll send them to Greenland. Where the hell's the... They're on their way. They're still gathering. While we're doing all the work. Civil War's still ongoing. 4 level 7 for Ribnica. We've traveled far, and after this siege we've got to fall back and try to grab some supplies somewhere. We've got to split the army. And I suggested you quit beating the crap out of the development of this county. I think we may have underestimated ourselves of this campaign. I can see why you don't mess with the Synagotsky. And spare it for once, don't hurt its development. 31%, so we established ourselves now. Development's much better up here. This area ain't it. Split it in half. Crap. You have to go all the way over there to get a decent resupply. There's no good place. Not even in friendly Bosnia. Yeah, we severely underestimated ourselves this campaign. It's good that we bring in loyalists, but we gotta withdraw. We can't stay here. Land's too underdeveloped. We're gonna be starving out here. So we just gotta settle in Pagania. Stop here. I don't think you can resupply here. No, can't. It's not friendly territory, I think. But they're on their way. Queen Alice's boils. Oh, stop it. Get away from me. Savannah's on main, let's see. Yeah, go ahead. Get away from me. I'm trying to resupply here. You're gonna kill me. Yeah, you're starving, but you're allowed to resupply here. Order supply in Oldmish, and then the other part will be in Pagania. And once we fully resupply ourselves, then we'll go to the northern side of Serbia, where there should be more flat plains and higher development. Better places. I'm still starving here. Split again. Go down there to the islands of Ava. Like scram. Leave us the hell alone. I mean, I can see you guys have assembled, but what are you doing? Get moving. They did take back one of the areas. So you could say you guys can have this side of the Drina. We'll go up north to Java and Užice. That has much better supply limit. Right, move up. We'll meet you soon. Crap, those are the one with the siege weapons. We need that. To get ahead of time, head to Bosnia. There, have assembled. Head to Prozor. They're on the move. Well, I'm giving you the go-ahead. God, stop following us. We're trying to do something here. I don't want you guys to screw it up. We're taking back everything. Get away! It's a goddamn stampede. You can't take that on your own. That's why we're bringing these. Looting here. This is only partial though. Head to Užice. I'll do some work here. They're no longer in revolt, they're all united. And who knows what he's gonna bring once he gets over here. We may have to end the episode soon in a cliffhanger. Where death once loomed, healing restores us. Where sickness once threatened the majesty of Machava, a skilled healer steps forth, rallying the ill with the knowledge of herbs and clean waters. Ranks are restored and hope rises their health. Excellent. We need that strength. I mean, it's not a disaster yet, but... Oh, here comes the Emperor. He's gonna be going to retake Rivnitsa, and we're gonna make him want to go up here. So, okay, you know what? Because of time constraints, we're gonna end the episode here with this one. My army siege of the Majesty of Machava, Magistracy of Machava, have left and wounded on both sides. Local physicians renowned for their skill tends to the enemy wounded in a makeshift hospital. My soldiers demand access to the healer's expertise, threatening to seize supplies and refuse. My knight both there awaits a decision. My lady, if wounded need care, but forced coverage may turn the locals further against us. What are your orders? Conscript the healer. Our soldiers come first. I don't want to look at the other choices right now. Guys, get over here. So, we're going to take Srim in the next episode. And then move on to Belgrade and Rudnik. And then we'll confront the army. Because there's no doubt that he's going to be heading to Rivnitsa to take it back. And then we'll have all that more. So, after the Crusade for Serbia, regardless of the result, in the next one, everything that we've invested in, we're going to put that into action, as we'll be fighting against Wales soon, which yes, they're allied to us in the Crusade, but your lands will be mine one day, because I'm going to be around for a while. You know that. And after Wales, then Ireland, and after Ireland, Scotland, and as well as continued the support for Greenland, which will be coming up in a couple of years' time in the next episode, and as well as sending somebody over to whoever wants to be, you know, whoever wants to go to Greenland to help support it. So we'll see you in the next episode and all that. But until then, so long for now.